Summer Valessa here of the Girls with Glasses, and I'm in my mother-in-law's kitchen. We're hanging out in Seattle for a few weeks, but I wanted to share my lasagna recipe with you. So here we are. I'm going to show you how to make a very, very yummy lasagna. Alright, what you're going to need first. There's a lot actually, so get a pad of paper or hopefully you have a good memory. I don't always use tomatoes, but we had some, so I chop them up and put them in the sauce. Onion, I think really makes it more flavorful. I've got 2 just regular traditional pasta sauce and Alfredo sauce. I don't put a ton in, but one time I didn't have that much, and so I put a little in and it tasted really good. So now sometimes I'll just put a little dash in there. We got a ton of mozzarella cheese that's already shredded, which makes it easier. A little bit of Parmesan cheese, which I tend to just put on the top. Some eggs, cottage cheese, and the cottage cheese you can also use ricotta, but my mom always made cottage cheese, so that's the taste that I like the best. Ground beef. I love that my husband went shopping, and this is the one he bought. He said it was almost the same price as the 2 pounds, so he bought me 3 pounds of ground beef. That's a lot of beef, but we'll see how much we use. And then lasagna noodles. A lot of people do not cook their lasagna noodles, they put them in hard. I do not like doing that. I feel like I can always tell, and I like them. They feel more moist when you boil them and then do it second. So that's what I do, and that's where I'm gonna start right now. Wait for the water to boil. I'm going to cut up a few things to saute with the sauce. I cut up a tomato. Spoon some of this ground beef out. This is kind of a weird thing too, I wash the outside of the ground beef bag because I feel like there's probably a lot of germs on it. Now I can throw this on the stovetop and make sure that this ground beef browns, probably at like a medium, and then pour the sauce in. Alright, the water is now boiling, so we're gonna go throw the noodles in. So instead of breaking your noodles, what you can do, if your pot's not quite big enough, is you can let them hold them in there so they get a little soft, and then just place them in once they are more flexible. So I take about half of this cottage cheese container, 24 ounce, and what I do is I crack an egg into it. And I mix that up. Lasagna is all about layers. So I am almost ready with all my layers. I put sauce at the bottom of the pan so that the noodles don't get hard and they've got that sauce to cook in. I put half of this 24 ounce cottage cheese in a bowl with 1 egg, and I left the other half in this egg, which I'll do on the second layer. I only put enough beef and tomatoes and onions for 1 layer, so I'm going to put the rest of this sauce in there, and then that one will be all ready. I'm going to bring this pan over by the noodles to make it easier. I'm going to take tongs to tong in the noodles. Alright, I have the first layer all done. Then I'm throwing the next layer in the boiling water. And the sauce is looking good. But first I'm going to put a layer of the cottage cheese and egg mixture. You want to make sure that everybody has some. And a layer of mozzarella cheese. Put as much or as little as you want. We're big cheese lovers, so we tend to put a lot and like it. Yep, I just put 8 cups. That's 1 layer. It's a lot, but it's yummy. Mix up my second layer of cottage cheese and egg so that it's ready to go. Alright, next layer is the sauce. So it's nice and meaty and tomatoey. Sometimes if I have garlic around, I'll crush some garlic into it. A lot of times too, I'll use the Lowry seasoning salt to season the meat too. I think it gives it an extra little yummy flavor. I'm going to throw the extra onions and tomatoes I had in here again to start the next layer. So we're just repeating all these layers one more time. Bring this over to do our next layer of noodles. Lasagna, there's a lot of moving parts, and part of it is getting into that rhythm of starting the noodles, mixing this, putting that on, putting the sauce back on, starting the layers. And it can be a little overwhelming, but the thing is just take it nice and slow. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And it's pretty logical, but I know sometimes in the kitchen, it can feel crazy and overwhelming. So hopefully this video helps. We have the next layer of lasagna noodles. Now we're going to put the cottage cheese and egg. It's more of a challenge when you have to do it one-handed, but you make it work. Does that look good?
No.
Hopefully it tastes good. That's all that matters. Good job. Put a little more cheese on top.
No.
Because you can never have too much cheese. All right, you're gonna cover your lasagna. Fold it over twice so that it's sealed. Then I pull it up a little bit so it doesn't stick to the cheese. So I've already preheated the oven to 375. I'm gonna throw it in and keep it with the foil on for about 40-45 minutes, and then take it off for the last 15-20 minutes so that that cheese can kind of brown. And that's when you know it's ready, when that cheese is all melted and the top gets a little goldeny brown. Out of the oven. We let it sit for 20 minutes so that it solidifies. And then now we just gotta cut it and serve it. If you want the whole recipe and ingredients, you can go on our blog, thegirlswithglasses.com. And I'll put a link down there at the bottom. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you like this video. We will see you next time. Stay glassy. All right, let's eat.